Hello, Sunshine Fam. How are you all doing today? My name is Chloe. Welcome to my channel. I know you guys haven't seen me in a while, and I haven't been uploading videos very often like I said I was going to, because I was going to go out and do more Adventures with Chloe videos. But you will understand why I've been a little bit slow at uploading videos. It's because of this. Yep. I got the carpal tunnel surgery. I call it a procedure because I wasn't put under. To me, a surgery means that they give you anesthesia that puts you to sleep and then they operate on you. Now, granted, this was a type of operation because there is an incision, but for shock value, I'm not going to show you because it still looks kind of nasty. But this was just a local. So my fingers are still pretty numb, but when I've been doing the research, you know me with research, when I've been doing the research, it says that it can last, the tingling or the numbness can last weeks, months, or possibly even up to a year, depending on how fast your body heals. So hopefully it's not a year, but right now I am currently out of work yet again, just like I was with my foot, my heel. And so I didn't have as much money saved up this time because this was kind of a quick turnaround. So I had this done on July 14th, and the healing process is going quicker than the foot, obviously, because it wasn't a major surgery, major procedure. It went pretty quick. I didn't have to have anybody drive me to or from because, like I said, I wasn't put under, so I could drive myself. It's just been very challenging the last week and a half. So here's the situation. I'm right-handed. Okay, this is my right hand. So it's been quite challenging to try to do certain things that, what did Amy Grant say in the song, you don't know what you got till it's gone? I know that was originally a song sung back in the 60s, I want to say, called Big Yellow Taxi. But anyway, I did as much as I possibly could for myself before I had to have the carpal tunnel procedure done. So it was actually called a median nerve release. And so what I thought was that they were going to do the incision here, but actually the incision is up here. So I can take the bandages off. I think I said that already. But for the sake of the public, for right now, I'm going to keep it covered because it is, like I said, quite nasty. I get the stitches taken out next Monday. So hopefully I can take a full shower at that point and not have to worry about it being infected or anything. Yes, my hand is still a little bit orange. I did try to scrub some of it off the other day, but I couldn't get it all off. So like on my fingers, you can kind of probably still see there's a little orange there from the iodine. They had the iodine all the way up to here, and I don't know how well you can see it, but I've got like a bruise right there. I'm not sure why the bruise is down here because the surgery happened up here. But when I originally took the bandages off, the bruise was like purple right here. But it's starting to fade a little bit, but it's still kind of greenish a little. And the foot is doing much better, but I'm obviously concerned about financial aspect. At least I have the experience from December and going into the beginning of January when I had gone back to work for my foot, what to expect from my first paycheck. They will be taking out probably a full month of insurance because I have insurance through work. And so my first paycheck is not going to be a full paycheck, I'm sure. And being out of work, I did get FMLA, but when I tried to apply for short-term disability, the insurance through the company I work for, they have this wording called accidental injury, and that prevents the insurance company from approving many of the short-term disability claims. So I'm not expecting to get it, but I was going to try for it. And even if I do get it, it won't be a percentage of what I make. It'll only be a certain dollar amount per week. So, I mean, yeah, a little bit is better than nothing, but it's nowhere near what I normally make. So, but when I talked to the gal on the phone, she said, be prepared for the worst because you probably won't get it. So, it is what it is. But the wedding is coming up here in just over 2 weeks now. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's already almost here. For those of you that don't know, Silver Star and Dre Wolf are getting married. And it's coming up pretty doggone quick here. Silver Star's stress is through the roof right now because of all the little details that have to be finalized. We've got pretty much everything done. It's just trying to get the financial part of it paid, that where they don't have the money to pay for the whole thing, so they're looking at maybe taking out a loan for the food and stuff. I was expecting maybe about 70 people, and we're up to almost 80 at this point. So it will be a pretty good turnout for the wedding. Right now it's scheduled to be an outdoor ceremony with an indoor reception, and it's both at the same place. But if the weather is inclement, we can always have the reception or the ceremony in the same spot as the reception, and then I think the venue will break down the ceremony and set up the reception tables and stuff in between. So we have pretty much everything taken care of, as well as far as like finances and party stuff and everything. But it's just crazy that it's coming up so quick, you know. But of course, we will have video. We will have pictures. I've had people ask me, don't forget to take pictures, or tell me, don't forget to take pictures. I'm like, it's a wedding. Of course we're going to take pictures, silly. So yeah, we'll have lots of pictures. We'll have lots of video. And of course, I'll bring my camera with me and stuff. So, yeah, child number 2 is going to be getting married here. And of course, Adriana and Simon are going to be in the wedding as well, as a flower girl and a ring bearer. They've got this really cute idea for Simon. I won't ruin it for most of you. So, or for some of you that are going to be coming to the wedding. But it's going to be really cute. So if Clary will agree to it, hopefully she will. I think Silver Star still has to talk to her about that. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been up to. Haven't really been doing much the past week and a half besides sitting in bed and playing games and stuff like that. So I play Happy Color, which is, I don't know if it's really saying playing it, because you don't really win any money or anything. It's just a color by number app on your phone, and it's totally free. And I've been doing that since, 2021, when I came back from Amarillo. Silver Star and Dre Wolf Clary were playing it, and Clary kind of showed me how it worked, and I kind of got addicted, so I've been playing that for a while. And in that, they do have ads that play, and so they advertise these different games where you can win actual money instead of like game money or whatever. So I was a little bit leery about downloading these games and stuff like that. I'm like, it sounds kind of like a scam. How do I know that, it's only going to pay out $1 or $2 or whatever? So I thought, well, I can always try one of them and see how it works. And if I feel that it's a scam, then I can just delete it off my phone. So I started playing the one, and I was winning a little bit of money. But you get so addicted that you keep playing, and it's like going to the casino where you're ahead, and then all of a sudden you're playing more, and then you lose all your money. So then I saw another game. This game was called Bubble Pause, where it's like a bubble shooting game. But when you get low on money, then there's another part of it where you can play like slots, where you can actually win more money to either keep playing the slots, or you can play the bubble game where you can get more money, and then you can transfer it right into like PayPal or gift cards or into your bank account. And another game that has been advertised on Happy Color is this one called Solitaire Lounge. And it looked like you could win more money on that. So I started playing that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm making more money this way. Not like hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever, not even hundreds of dollars, but I'm trying to discipline myself to, once I get to a certain dollar amount, then I take a little bit of that out and put it into my checking account, so that at least I have some money going into my bank account while I'm not making anything. So I have a cap on that if I win up to $50 or more, then I will stop at that point, take out, like leave $10 in the game and then take out the rest, and then of course it gives you like a fee for doing the transfer or whatever, just like $1 or $2. So I've done that from the solitaire game, and then my lowest amount I want to do is $10, but I've been going below that. So in both of these games, I'm down to like below $5 in these games. So I'm like, okay, but then every night, because I don't have to work the next morning, I've been staying up to like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And every night around midnight, then I go into the games, and it gives you like bonus cash, but it doesn't give you much. It gives you like 10 cents here, 30 cents there. And I'm like, why is it giving you just a teeny tiny little amount? And in the bubble shooter game and the bubble pause game, I was thinking that I was withdrawing the money to put from the game into my bank account, but I was actually taking the money out of my bank account to put the money into the game, because I was new at it. So I kind of got screwed over that way. So I'm like, well, we're not doing that again. But now I figured out how to move the money from the game into my bank account and not the other way around. So I was able to do that with Solitaire Lounge. And so once I get more money into my bank account, or into my game accounts, then I can start playing the game again and make more money, and then maybe transfer some more money into my bank account. So, if you want to play them, that's fine. They're free to download, and you can transfer money. I mean, you can buy game money to play longer or whatever, but then you're just kind of wasting your money in order to make money, because you're not going to make that much money back until you can figure out the strategy of it, I guess. So I wouldn't say, if you're looking to make a lot of extra money, don't look to these games to do it. There's other games that are being advertised. One is like a bingo game, and it shows that you can win like $300 just for signing up, or, and it shows, you can win like $2,000 at a time or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds a little bit fishy. So I'm not going to download that one. But it's something fun to do. And, if I can make a little extra money on the side, little extra money, then of course, I'll try to do that. So, but I know John was asking me when am I going to make another video, and I told him this week. So here's the video, John. And I can't think of anything else. I was thinking of doing a series or even a video on politics that is separate from the presidential highlights videos that I did, talking about politics today. But I kind of value my life, and I'm sure a lot of my opinions and my way of thinking do not coincide with many of the other people out there in this country. So I think for the time being, I'll keep my mouth shut. All I'm going to say is I don't agree with a lot of what our president is doing. And the only other thing I'm going to say is he's got this saying since the first time he was president, MAGA, which means Make America Great Again. Well, if you go and look at my presidential highlights videos again, you can pick and choose or you can watch all of them, whatever. But I question the last A in that because, as Sea Dog has often said, this country has never really been great, and Silver Star kind of agrees with that. We've always had problems in this country, and so to say "Make America Great Again" doesn't really make much sense to me, because we never really were a great country, like that Jeff Daniels speech from the newsroom. I'm sure you guys know which one I'm talking about because I've referenced it a number of times in my past videos. I think even in my presidential highlights videos. So, something else I've been trying to keep up on that I've gotten behind on in recent weeks, and I'm trying to catch up, is I have a one-year Bible, and I am a Christian, so I have a one-year Bible, and I've fallen quite behind. So the other day, I was looking to see where I left off, and it was June 20th. And today is July 22nd. So I've been trying to read several of these a day. And then I also have these two books by Joyce Meyer. One is called Starting Your Day Right, and the other one is called Ending Your Day Right. And it's one page per day. And it gives you the date, and then it has like a little Bible verse. You can see that it has a little Bible verse and then her thoughts on it, on how to really live your life in a better way. So in reading my Bible, a lot of these stories I've never heard. So I'm up to, in the, like for the Bible verse, or the one-year Bible, it starts out with an Old Testament reading and then a New Testament reading, I think. To go Old Testament, New Testament, I can't see, it's really hard for me to grasp, so it's like really hard. Okay, yeah, so an Old Testament reading, and then a New Testament reading, a Psalm, and then a proverb, a snippet of the Proverbs. And so I'm up to First Chronicles, just got done with Kings, First and Second Kings, and a lot of these stories I never knew about, because in the Catholic Church, they like repeat the same stories every year, and they don't really talk about all the other stories in the Bible. So a lot of these people I've never heard of. Chronicles, I'm finding, is a very boring book because it's going through the genealogy of pretty much just the men, all the sons of everybody, and it starts with Adam and goes through his whole bloodline, and then it says, Adam had Cain and Abel. And then Cain had these sons, and Abel had these sons, and then the sons of Abel are these people, and the sons of Cain were these people, or whatever. And it's like, half these names you can't even pronounce, and it's just basically a genealogy, which you think would be kind of piquing my interest, because I've been getting back into these videos. This time I'm doing it a little bit differently with watching the videos. Instead of watching trial videos, I'm watching this show on YouTube called Who Do You Think You Are? And you may or may not have heard of it. It started in the UK, I believe, and Lisa Kudrow from Friends, who played Phoebe in Friends, I think she was vacationing over there or maybe filming a movie or something, and she happened to see this show and she thought it was a really cool idea, so she went to the producers and asked if she could bring it over to America, and they agreed to that. So she's an executive producer from this show. They're not filming them in the US anymore right now. It's kind of been put on hiatus, but she did her own story in the first season. I think there were like 4 or 5 seasons, and it started back in the early 2000s, so at least here in the US. But the one that piqued my interest was a guy from the UK by the name of Danny Dyer. He's on a show, or was on a show, called EastEnders, and when he was going through his genealogy, he found out that his 22 times great-grandfather was King Edward III. And he was just in shock that he's royalty because he came from a very poor family. And all of a sudden he finds out he's royalty. Well, what's crazy is that when Courtney Cox did her genealogy for the show, some of her relatives match what Danny Dyer's relatives are, going back to William the Conqueror and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. So I guess Courtney Cox is royalty too. That's crazy to think about that, But I started delving into my own genealogy. I do this every now and again, going into my genealogy. So I can go back to my 4 times great-grandparents on both sides of the family. And I love to delve back even further if I can, but it's going to cost a lot of money. So right now I'm more worried about paying off all these bills from last year, which right now are being put on hiatus because of this. But it's kind of fun delving into your genealogy to find out, maybe you have somebody that was in history. Maybe you're related to your ancestors that were part of history. Like when Sarah Jessica Parker did hers, she found out that one of her relatives, I don't remember which side it was on, mothers or fathers, but she was part of this ancestor was part of the witch trials, and her relative was supposed to have her trial like 2 weeks after she was convicted of it or whatever. And at that point they decided that all that stuff, burning these people at the stake and killing dogs and stuff, thinking that the dogs are doing witchcraft or whatever, Salem witch trials. Her relative was spared from having to go to trial and possibly being killed because the laws kind of changed at that point. They realized that they were killing all these people for no reason, that, like people would get sick and they'd say, oh, well, these people were around them, so they must be witches, and they were casting spells on this person or doing voodoo on this person, and that's what made this person sick, where it didn't have anything to do with that. So, that was kind of a dark history for us. Her husband, Matthew Broderick, who was Ferris Bueller, if you remember, his relative fought, one or two of his relatives fought in the Civil War. So you never know, if you delve into your history, where your genealogy might take you. If it interests you. I think it's kind of cool to find out who your relatives were. And I was looking, I'm signed up with MyHeritage rather than Ancestry because MyHeritage is free to a certain point. I mean, if I wanted to get more in-depth information, I'd have to pay for a membership, but I can do a lot of this stuff for free, and then I can add people in my family tree as I get the information. And so one of the pieces of information, I have to verify this with my parents, but one of them on my dad's side, I can trace back to when they came to the U.S. from Germany. And on my mom's side, I can trace it back to where this relative, my 4 times great-grandfather, 3 times great-grandfather, had come over from, or was born in Ireland, but the information I have is that this relative was born in Bristol, UK. So I have to verify if the Irish side is true or the English side is true, because the relative's last name is Murphy, so being born in Ireland would make more sense to me than being born in the UK, unless his relatives, his parents were born in Ireland and then went to the UK and then they came over from the UK or whatever. So it's quite interesting. So if you want me to do my own version of Who Do You Think You Are for myself, leave your comments below and let me know, and I can start delving into that a little bit. I probably won't give away too much information as far as names are concerned. I might change the names because that would give me away too much. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to delve into your genealogy. I can go back to like the early 1800s for births, which is really cool. So, and I know a friend of my parents had done his genealogy tree, and he decided to trace it all the way back to Adam and Eve. Now my dad is skeptical about that, but I was looking it up the other day, and I thought, how many generations have there been since Adam and Eve were created? And it said anywhere between 140 and 300 and something generations. And they can't say definitively how many generations there's been, but they take what they get in the Bible and count backwards from today how many generations there's been. So from Jesus to current, there's been 42 generations. From Jesus back to, was it Noah? I want to say it was Noah. There was 42 generations. And from Noah to Adam, they're guessing there was about 27 generations or something like that. Actually, I can look that up. I don't want to give you false information. So, how many okay, if I can spell here. Generations have there been. Watch my battery life here. Wait a minute. This is totally different than what I read yesterday. Estimating the total number of human generations is challenging, but considering the time since the earliest humans and using an average generation length, there have likely been around 10,000 to 15,000 generations. This calculation is based on an estimated 200,000 to 300,000 years since the emergence of modern humans and an average generation time of 20 to 25 years. That's not what I read the other day. Let me say since Adam and Eve. Here we go. This is the right one. Okay, there isn't a definitive answer, but estimations from biblical genealogies suggest around 104 to 120 generations have passed since Adam and Eve. This is based on tracing the direct line of a descendant from Adam to Abraham, then to Jesus, and finally to the present day using average generation lengths. So forget everything I just said. So Adam to Abraham, there was approximately 20 generations. Abraham to Jesus, the Bible specifically, the Gospel of Luke, lists 76 generations from Adam to Jesus, while Matthew 1:17 lists 42 generations from Abraham to Jesus. And Jesus to the present, doesn't give me a year on this, using the average generation length from Abraham to Jesus, some calculations suggest another 42 generations have passed since Jesus. So that's quite interesting. Don't you think? I think it's kind of cool. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing with my time. Researching a lot of different things, like where is Adam and Eve buried, and every once in a while when I'm looking through the Bible or reading through the Bible and it talks about different structures that were built back in biblical days, and it says it is still there to this day, then I'll go to Google Maps and type in that particular item. Like there was an altar that was built. I don't remember where it was, and don't ask me to look it up because it would take me way too long because it was back a couple months ago that I read this. But there was an altar or something that was built, and so I looked it up, and sure enough, somewhere, I don't even remember where it is. Lebanon, maybe? I don't remember where they said it is, and it showed a picture of this altar, or whatever it was that I was looking up, that was made out of stones, and it's still there to this day, which I think is really kind of cool. Adventures with Chloe road trip. Plane trip, whatever. That would be a long time coming. I may never get to show you something like that. But I know a lot of people go to Jerusalem to see where Jesus was born and buried and stuff like that. But it might be kind of interesting to find out these different things. Like, you know, there's speculation about whether or not up on Mount Ararat in Turkey that the Noah's Ark is up there, because I guess in 1984 or 1989, I looked this up the other day too. Well, what else are you going to do when you can't really do much for yourself? I looked it up and it said that aerial photos, when they were flying aerial photos to look for Russian military bases during the Cold War, they found this boat-like formation on top of Mount Ararat. So they're thinking that that is where the Noah's Ark is. But scientists have gone up there and they haven't found any evidence of Noah's Ark at all up there. And it depends on what time of year it is, because sometimes it's up kind of high on the mountain, like 16,000 feet or something like that. And maybe 6,000. I'm always exaggerating the amounts of things. But it was saying that at certain times of the year, the snow and ice kind of cover it, so they can't really get to it. But then when it melts in the summer, I guess, then you can see clear pictures. And actually, I can kind of show you Noah's Ark, Mount Ararat pictures. Okay, so let me show you a picture. Okay, so can you kind of see that? That's what they're saying is Noah's Ark right there. But they've gone up there, and at certain times of the year, there's snow and ice covering it. Now that says it's from 2019. But pretty interesting what you can find, you know. So I think at this point, I'm going to go ahead and end this video, because the longer the video is, the longer it takes to upload onto YouTube. So I am able to do certain things with my hand. I just can't grasp anything really tightly, and I'm still working on getting the strength back in my wrist. So I can't lift anything too heavy yet. So I'm doing a lot of things left-handed, which makes it quite challenging, like washing my hair in the sink. Makes it very difficult because I'm trying not to get my right hand wet. So I've been washing my hair with one hand. And cooking has been a little bit of a challenge. Simple things that you wouldn't, you know, that you kind of take for granted, that you don't realize that is such a simple thing until you can't do it anymore, is twisting the ice cube trays to get the ice cubes out of it. I'm now able to kind of do that very carefully, but I'm trying not to twist my wrist too much and putting pressure on it, because I don't want to re-injure it and do more damage, leaving me out of work for even a longer period of time. I did look up what exercises I can maybe do, and so I'm starting to do those as well. Some of them I can't do. Like, I can do, like, it says take your thumb and touch all your fingers. I can't quite reach that one, and I definitely can't reach my pinky. It says to kind of do like a hook fist for a couple of them, and then also do like a full fist as much as you can tolerate. It says to extend your hand and then let your fingers point down for several seconds and then relax, and then point your fingers up for a few seconds as long as you can tolerate it. So I've been starting to do those. And then also to kind of like move your thumb towards your pinky, but it starts to hurt right in here. So I can't really do that one yet either. So it's been a little bit of a challenge, but I'm glad you guys were able to join me today. I'm glad to be able to give you another video and kind of ramble on about different things. I'm still considering doing some more Adventures with Chloe videos from last year when Silver Star, myself, and Durfay Wolf went out to San Diego and give you guys those videos. But again, they would be poor quality because I'd have to film them off of my computer with my camera. So the quality wouldn't be that great, but at least you'd have new videos to watch until I can get editing software, and then I can take down the poor quality ones and edit the ones together and make it a clearer video for you. But that would take some time to do those videos, because I have one from the San Diego Zoo when we went there. I have one from Balboa Park at the Air and Space Museum, and another one at the Car Museum. And Silver Star had gone into the Museum of Natural History, I think, but she took more pictures than she took video. So I think she only had like 1 or 2 videos from inside there. So I don't have really anything to show you from in there. What other videos did we take out there? Went to the zoo. Oh, we went to Poway, Lake Poway again, but I don't know. I know I did a video at Lake Poway when I was there a couple years prior that I've shown you. So this would just kind of be a repeat of that video. It just has Silver Star and Drovay Wolf in it. But it's pretty much this, you know, it's the same area. I can't think. I think I took a video of the sunset at Ocean Beach one day. So I might share that with you guys too. I think that was just one video. But it wasn't a very long one because I took it like right as the sun was going down. So it's only just a few minutes. And I also took pictures out there as well of the sunset. I'm trying to think of where else we went to. Lake Poway. Seaport Village? Maybe I did some videos out at Seaport Village. I think I took more pictures. I don't know. I'd have to go back into my computer and see which videos I have. I did take videos of the takeoff and landing from Minneapolis into San Diego, because this time we did it without a layover, because I booked it through Expedia rather than Priceline. And then I did the takeoff and landing from San Diego back to Minneapolis too. So, but there's so many of the videos out there like that where people take a video of the takeoff and landing from different airports and stuff. So I might not bore you with those details at all. I can't think of where else we went when we were out there. Old Town. We did go to Old Town. I don't remember if I did video out there or not. It was basically just, you know, showing Drovay Wolf around. He had never been on a plane. So it was quite the adventure for him. He had a lot of fun until Silver Star got us lost trying to find an animal that Drovay Wolf wanted to see, and little did we know it was right by the entrance, and we walked through the entire freaking zoo. So 2.5 hours later, we finally found this animal, which is a red panda, and Drovay Wolf has issues with his feet. I think kind of the same issue that I was having, the Achilles tendonitis or bone spurs or whatever, and so he could barely walk after that. And that was our first day out there after we had come in to San Diego. We flew in kind of late, so we got an early start the following day. We went to the zoo the first day, and then went to, well, the first place I took them was to the ocean, so that they could see the ocean. And then I think we went to the ocean for the sunset, I think that night or the next night, something. Because where we stayed was kind of by SeaWorld, and I do not endorse SeaWorld at all. We did not go there. We just stayed at a hotel near there. And so we could kind of see the sunset from our hotel window because we weren't very far from the ocean. Maybe about 3/4 of a mile to a mile from the ocean at that point. Maybe half a mile. I don't know. But yeah. So that was interesting. So yeah, I could upload those videos too if you want to see those. Just let me know in the comments below. And also let me know what you guys thought about the Vicodin video. And before I say my goodbyes here, I do have another funny story to tell you. And so after I had the surgery done, they were going to call in, my doctor was going to call in a prescription for an anti-inflammatory and a pain medication. And one of them happened to be Vicodin. I laughed so freaking hard when they said that. I never picked it up, so don't expect Vicodin Part 2. I am not doing that again, okay? It was bad enough the first time. Here I am. Oh my gosh. I still can't believe I uploaded that video. But if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. I think I titled it Chloe High on Vicodin or something. Or High on Vicodin or something. It was maybe like 2 or 3 videos ago prior to this one. So if you go to my videos, it'll show you that video. It's pretty funny. You've never seen me like this, and you never will ever, ever, ever again. In the video, when I was getting water from the fridge, I said, I've never been high, but I imagine this is what it must feel like. Honest to God, you guys, seriously, 45 minutes after that video was taken, I don't even remember why I even decided to film myself, to be honest with you. I do not really remember walking through the hallway. I don't remember saying I have my green thingy. I know you couldn't really see me very well. But what I meant by my green thingy was Vicks Vapor Rub. And I called it my green thingy because the cap is green. So I was looking at it and I'm like, I've got my green thingy, and showing Vicks Vapor Rub because I was all stuffed up at that point. So that was the green thingy that I was talking about. The part where I said, at least I don't sound like a French man with a shark or something walking on water, that was a reference to Bill Engvall when he was put on Vicodin after a hernia operation, and he was in the islands. He was in the, I don't know if he was in the DR or the PR or whatever, Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic or something, somewhere in the Caribbean. And he was talking about being on Vicodin land. That's why I mentioned Vicodin land in that video. You should really watch that. I think that is in the one where it's his special called Here's Your Sign. So if you look up Bill Engvall, Here's Your Sign, he tells that story in there, and that's what I'm referencing there. At the end, when I say water rocks, and Clary says something about, okay, Manana, that was from a reference on Friends, when, if you've ever seen Friends, Monica, the character of Monica, was drunk. It was the episode where she got her identity stolen, and she found out who it was, and she started befriending this woman to do things that she would never do herself, but this woman had stolen her credit cards, and she started doing this with her friend or whatever, and they went out and got drunk and stuff like that. And she goes to the kitchen sink. Monica goes to the kitchen sink and turns on the faucet and puts her head under the faucet, and when she's done drinking, she goes, "Water rules!" So that's what that's in reference to. I kind of remember the ice cream. I had ice cream yesterday, and I barely remember you can't see me very well, and I turn on the light and I'm like, here I am. Every time I go back and watch that video, that's where I crack up when I say that. But seriously, and I don't remember talking like I was from the South. I kind of remember Lucky being in the video, but and I don't even remember referencing Terry, who happened to be my boyfriend at the time. His voice was in one of my videos where he was talking about being in Iraq during the Gulf War. That was during one of the presidential highlights videos. I think it was Bush Sr. So he was on the phone, and I was having him tell his story about being in Iraq. But I don't talk to him anymore. And so, yeah. So, yeah, if you want to see a funny video of me in a way that you will never, ever see me, go back and watch that Vicodin video. Get that one up. So, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go now. But no, you will not see Vicodin Part 2, ever. No. That's what happens to me when I take a very small dosage of a narcotic. So, yeah. Not going there again. So, hopefully I will be able to make another video for you in a short period of time where I can actually show you the incision after the stitches are taken out and it is healed more. So you can kind of see where it is and stuff. They did freeze it, so it didn't hurt, or they did numb it, I should say. They froze my hand first and then put the shot in there, which was the most anxious part of my whole thing. I didn't really feel, I could kind of feel the poke of the needle, and then they did like 2 sharp electrical jolts in my hands because I could feel the jolts into my fingertips. Maybe they did that to find out how numb I was, but I couldn't feel them doing any of the surgery. I could feel a little bit of tugging and stuff, but I didn't feel the incision. I didn't feel anything. And then I couldn't feel anything for a while, so driving my car was a little bit of a challenge. Turning the key in my car, I have to do it with my left hand because I can't, like I said, I can't really twist anything that would allow a lot of pressure with my right hand right now. And I don't have a push to start, so yeah, that's a little bit of a challenge. Bringing up groceries that are kind of heavy is a little bit of a challenge because I have to do a few trips if I'm by myself. Like today I got 1 bag of some food and then a gallon of milk, so I had to go down and do 2 trips because I can only use one hand for that because the bag was kind of heavy with what I bought. So anyway, maybe leave a comment below and tell me if you want me to continue with these Adventures with Chloe videos and where you'd like to see me go. Preferably somewhere here in the Twin Cities, since I can't really travel too far right now until I can get my bank account back in constant increase in deposits, unless I can help with these games. Maybe I can deposit a few $100s. That would be nice, so I could start paying off these medical bills. But I will definitely keep you guys informed as to, I'm sure the next video, if it's not before then, which it probably won't be, will probably be Drafay Wolf and Silver Star getting married. Likely will be their real names, so if they don't have a problem with it, then I can upload the video of the ceremony. And maybe some of the video of the reception as well. So you guys can kind of be a part of that, those that are not able to attend. So I did tease her. I told her that I had invited somebody super famous to her wedding. I did invite a couple of what she knows as special guests. She doesn't know who they are. It's going to be a surprise for her, but she does know that there are special guests coming, 2 of them. And not going to spoil it by telling you guys, but because I know she watches my videos too. So I told her, I guess Sea-Dog knows, and he was going to tell her. And so to prevent him from telling her, I decided to kind of spoof her. So we were driving around in the car one day, and I said, fine, I'll tell you who I invited. And she's like, I don't want to know. I said, I invited Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he accepted. And her mouth dropped to the floor of the car. She was flipping out in my car because she loves Lin-Manuel Miranda. If you don't know who he is, he's the one that did Hamilton. He did the music for Moana. He's done a lot of different things. He did In the Heights. That was his first Broadway play. He was in, I don't know if you saw it, but Tick, Tick, Boom. He did a little bit. He was part of that. Behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. He had like a 10-second cameo in there. His father was in that movie too. And anyway, so she's flipping out in the car. She's like, "Are you serious?" And I'm laughing hysterically because I knew that's how she was going to respond. So I had her going for a good 5 minutes. And she goes, "If this is serious, if you're not joking, I'm going to freak out." And I'm like, "Aren't you already freaking out in the car?" She's like, "Yeah, but even more so." So then she kept saying, "Is this serious? Is this serious?" And finally I said, "No, I'm kidding." And she got so mad at me. She got so mad at me. But I did invite another somewhat famous person that her and I both know. I consider him a friend. I don't have his phone number or anything, but his name is Chris Fleming. He is not the comedian, but he is a paranormal investigator. He's been on Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, several different shows. And he's the one that I've been talking about in past videos about the cancer. He's doing much better. I haven't talked about him much because there really isn't much to report, but he is back doing events now, and he's going to be going to Ireland later this year. I think it's later this year. So he's selling tickets for that. And so I think he's done with his chemo now. His hair is starting to grow back. He looks way different than he used to. But still has that big heart. Still love him. And he's doing much, much better now. So now he's back to work. So now, he thanks everybody for anybody who donated to his GoFundMe page. Of course, he still is in need of some financial help because of not being able to work during his chemo and everything. So he's still probably playing catch up with all these bills and stuff. I don't know how well his insurance is, or if the hospital helps offset some of the cost of these chemo treatments that he had to do. But from my understanding, he's doing much better. Haven't really heard much about whether his immune system is starting to build back up or anything. He hasn't really posted much about that. But given the fact that he's doing events again is a very positive sign. I mean, everybody really thought that he was not going to make it very long, and here he is back working again. So it's amazing. I mean, prayer does work. For you out there that are atheists or agnostics or don't believe in God, prayer does work. So I'm not going to try to convince you to be a believer in God. That's perfectly your choice. I do believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I believe he died for everybody's sins, evil people and good people. So yeah. So it's good to see Chris is back doing events again. So yeah, I had invited him too, but he never responded. And then a good friend of his who lives here in the Twin Cities named Dave Schrader, he does a radio show and a podcast. I had invited him too, and I'm friends with him on Facebook, but I don't really follow him. And I had no idea that his father had passed away on July 4th. So his mom had passed away a couple years ago, and he was very close to his mom. And he never really talked about his dad, so I just kind of presumed that his dad had passed away years ago, and all of a sudden he said that his dad recently passed away. But I'm wondering if it wasn't like a stepfather, because the last name doesn't match to Dave Schrader. So so he's busy going through his dad's personal effects and estate in Illinois. So he won't be able, I said maybe he could crash the wedding. Silverstar's like, don't you be inviting him, it'd be a chaos at the wedding and stuff. But when I invited him, he did write me back and he said, I'm sorry I can't attend because I'm still dealing with my father's death. So I felt really bad. So anyway, so not really anybody famous except for the DJ who used to work at KDWB. His name is Johnny. I don't know his last name, but he's really a lot of fun. So that'll probably be the next video to be uploaded, is the wedding video. So that won't be until probably the middle to end of August to do that one. And of course it would probably have to be an edited video. So it won't be the best quality till I can get money to buy software again. So it might not be for a while before you get the decent video, but at least I can give you a video of the wedding and that. And maybe even reach back to 2018 and upload the video from when Clary got married. From the planning of it to the ceremony and the reception. So and of course the kid's dad is going to be there, coming up from Florida. So we've been telling Drefay Wolf that her dress looks like a rainbow unicorn. That it's a multicolored dress. I'm not going to tell you what it looks like though, because Drefay Wolf watches my videos too, and he doesn't want to know what she looks like until she's coming down the aisle. But it's very, very pretty. So anyway, I need to shut up now so that I can get this uploaded. I've been all over the map on this video. I apologize. But you guys should be able to keep up if you've been subscribed to me for a while. And if not, please subscribe. And please hit that notification bell. And that way you're notified when I upload a new video. Comment. I don't get too many comments. John is pretty much the only one that comments on my videos, so I would love to hear from you guys. And share my videos with other people that you think might like them. Doesn't have to be this video, but like any of my Adventures with Chloe videos from the past, or Presidential Highlights videos. Go way back to the very beginning, to when I uploaded Irish dance videos before I considered it a YouTube channel. I was just taking videos of the dancers, and that was even before I started Irish dancing. You know, I think the very first one I put up was when I did the flash mob in Maple Grove, like right before Irish Fair, the first year I danced, which was 2014, 2015, 2016. Yeah, I think I danced 2014, 15, and 16 is when I danced. And now, unfortunately, I can't dance anymore. I gotta get all new shoes because my feet have grown a lot. I gotta get shoes for the wedding. Oh my gosh. More expense. Oh my goodness. Alright, I need to stop freaking out about finances. But the clock is ticking, so I do have to get new shoes. Gotta figure out where to get those. So I'm gonna let you guys go. But let me know if you guys want to see Clary's wedding video. Let me know if you want to see the San Diego videos from last year with Silverstar and Drefay Wolf. Let me know if you want me to upload the video for Silverstar and Drefay Wolf's wedding. I'll have to check with them and see if they would want me to do that. And what other videos you'd like to see me do. So, anyway, hopefully the next time you see me I won't have this on my hand either. But I better get going before my battery dies. My battery starts flashing. It hasn't yet, but it's getting to be quite a long video. So I'm going to let you guys go, but thanks for joining me today. You guys have a happy and safe rest of your summer, whatever you may be doing. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a sunny day.